How's it going, guys? My name is Luke, and today I'll be exploring the rolling hills of Suikerbosrand Nature Reserve. I'll be looking for a specific orchid that is probably one of the earliest flowering orchids in the country, as well as hopefully finding maybe one or two other plants along the way. It's going to be a fun one, and I'll see you out there. Well, ladies and gentlemen, made it to our first scouting location for specific orchid species that resides in burnt areas. This orchid flowers from about late August to maybe early October during the springtime. However, in higher altitudes, it probably flowers a bit later than that, so maybe early September, mid-September. So it might be a bit early, but rather be early than late. So I'm going to start trapping around this burnt area, and hopefully we can find something that's quite interesting. As I've walked a large extent of this burned area through all this juicy habitat for the specific orchid, it likes to be found in the shallow soils. It isn't like deep soil in the grasslands. It isn't like very shallow soil on top of the rocks. It's like in between the rocks, in the transition zone almost between those two habitats. But there's lots of good habitat out here. I think I'm just a bit too early for this specific species of orchid. So I think I'm going to have to come back to this burnt area maybe middle to early September when the temperature's a bit more warmer for a bit more longer. Come out here, give it another go. Because it's definitely, yeah, the habitat is absolutely pristine. But I'll be back. As you can see, I've actually trapped to the burnt area, but we're going to move on to our next location for a different species of orchid in a bit less burnt area, and hopefully we can get that one. Guys, we made it to our next habitat to look for a different species of orchid. As you can see, we're in more of a grassland species now with a few scattered rocks. We're going to be looking for a wood orchid in here. Hopefully we can get it. I really hope we can get it, so it's going to turn up with no orchids. Because this is the only other one that flowers during this time of the year in August. So hopefully we can get it so I can have a video to show you guys. Pressure's on. Let's do this thing. So this habitat, as you can see, is very quite scattered small rocks, and then it's covered with this turpentine grass. So these orchids remain in grassy vegetation because they like a bit of dry soil. They pre-rain orchids, that like dry soil. They live out in the grassland just so they have a bit of shade, so they're not getting burned too bad by that sun. So it's going to be interesting if we can try and find one, because I think this one's only about 20 centimeters tall, 30 centimeters. So hopefully we can find one amongst all this grass. Right guys, full disclosure, I've just walked up this hill. I've looked in between that grass there, and I think I see two orchid species. Now I'm going to go over there and have a look at the orchids, and you're going to see my real-time reaction. So that's the plan. If they're not orchids, it's going to be very sad. Oh my days. Guys, we have freaking wood orchids. They look like they're just starting to die, but they still have flowers. Get in! Come on. We've done it. We've come to Suikerbos and we've done it. We freaking found orchids. Thank you, Lord. Oh my days. I can't believe that. I'm going to quickly identify these guys to you, get some pictures, and I'll give you an explanation on what these absolute special little plants are. Yahoo! Come on. Guys, we've done it. We finally found an orchid species, Suikerbos. This is the orchid that only flowers during August months. It's called Bontea correcta. Probably butchered that Latin pronunciation. The common name is leafless grassveld orchid. I can't believe we actually found an orchid. This is the only one I had hope for just because of the seasonality. The rest of the orchids out here all flower. September, October, all the way into March. This is a good start for the orchid season. This means that orchid season has started, which is unreal. So these guys are found out here in these grassfield areas. Like I said, close to, it says they're usually found adjacent to rocks, which is quite something, as there's a rock next to it. So at least we're in the perfect habitat. I did know there was one seen in this area quite a few years ago, so I decided to start here, and it's paid off. These guys live under the ground as geophytes during the winter, and as soon as August comes, the temperatures start warming up, starts warming up the soil, they start to sprout, poke their heads out, and obviously they're starting to die off, probably getting a bit too hot, and just before the rainy season starts. They got quite interesting, I want to say apparatus, if that's the right word. This long green petal down the middle here, with lots of other ones here. So that's quite interesting, all these little petals in it. I'll take better pictures and closer pictures so you can get a proper look at this orchid. And another interesting thing about these orchids is that they are pollinated by hawk moths or nocturnal moths in the night. So these moths will probably come along. Obviously this one's died out of it, so it doesn't look as nice as it would if it was flowering properly. And they'd come in here, obviously suck on a bit of nectar or whatever's in there, and they'll drop their pollen on their backs, and those moths obviously fly around to each orchid throughout these hillsides, pollinating as they go, and they'll die out end of August as we're seeing this right now, and they'll go back down into the geophyte, sit there and wait for next year, and the cycle will go on and on and on and on. Orchids are such interesting flowers. You just read about how they pollinate, how they pollinators pollinate them, and their whole reproductive cycle. It's unbelievable. And I think they're way better looking at the ones that you find at your mother's house. These ones are unbelievable. I'm so pumped up with the fight lion right now. I can't believe we found one. First orchid of the season, and it's one I've never seen. So it's a flippin' cracking start to the orchid season. Let's get some pictures of this guy. And yeah, it's no better timing. I have to leave Suikerbosrand at around 12. I have some things to do this afternoon back home, so I just came for a morning session to try and snack an orchid, and we've done it. We've actually done it. What a pleasure. Yeah, so I'm gonna get pictures of this guy, so heading back. So it's time to leave the orchid behind. I got some crisp pictures of that thing, crispy. So I'm gonna chuck you a nice montage in this video of that. It's just in the nick of time as well, to 11:36. So it's time for me to start heading back. I'm quite far away from the entrance, so I can get back in time at home. Cracking start to the orchid season, that's all I can say. It's unreal. I can't believe we found one. I'm still absolutely gobsmacked. Yeah, and it wasn't too hot today as well, but overcast, nice wind, so I wasn't sweating like a freaking pig in a butchery. So it was a good day out, good. By the time I got here at about 8, good 4 hours out in the rolling hills of Suikerbos. So it's time for me to stop yapping and get back in the car and start heading home. While I'm just driving back, I just rewatched the footage and I kept calling that orchid a grassveld wood orchid. Just absolute bollocks. It's a leafless wood orchid, not a grass wood orchid. So I thought I'd just clarify that while I'm just driving back. Sure, we got him. So that's neither here nor there. It was a successful little trip to Suikerbos, and now it's time for me to actually clap it out. So glad I get there in time. Well guys, that's all she wrote. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you think about wild orchids, if you've seen any wild orchids, and if you like this type of nature content. Good start to the orchid seasons. Hopefully many more to see, many more to come. That all being said, I'll see you in the next one. Yahoo!